Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Cicero Regular Town Board Meeting, Wednesday, December 14th, 2022 at 6:30 p.m. If you would, please silence your cell phones and please note there are two exits in the rear of the room and one up front to the right. We will now stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
Nicely
That
done.
was awesome.
Before we start tonight's meeting, there will be public input pertaining to the items on tonight's agenda, and you'll have up to 3 minutes to speak on behalf of those items. But before we start, we'd like to, our codes director, Steve Procopio's dad passed away earlier in the week. And Steve, our thoughts and prayers are with you and your family. And also our past supervisor, Judy Boyke, lost her daughter last week in a horrific car accident. Judy, our thoughts and prayers are with you and your family as well. Counselor White, number 3.
Approval of abstracts. Move for the adoption of a resolution approving abstract numbers 45 dated 11/7/22, 46 dated 11/14/22, 47 dated 11/21/22, 48 dated 11/28/22, 49 dated 12/6/22, and number 50 dated 12/12/22.
Second.
Discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Those who vote no or abstain, passed.
Budget modifications, transfers. The Cicero Town Board approves the budget modifications and transfers as presented.
Second.
Discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Those who vote no or abstain, passed. Before we continue on, we will make a note here that the continuation of the public hearing, consider the local law amendments to chapter 210 to be adjourned to 3/8/23. No evidence will be taken tonight, and there will be no public input or discussion and no vote. And with that being said, I'll turn the mic over to our deputy supervisor, Mr. Bacallo.
I appreciate that, Mr. Supervisor. It is an awesome to be here tonight in the presence of excellence, right? This is awesome. So feel free to cheer as much as you want. So I had the honor to go to the state championship game this past month when our Cicero Falcons 8U team won the state championship against Rotterdam. It was like watching a machine. Yeah. It was like watching a finely tuned machine work down the field multiple times. It was 14-0. It felt like 10 minutes into the game, real time. So I reached out to Courtney, our league president, as well as Mary, one of the team coaches, and I said, we have to honor this team this evening. So I appreciate you all being here. Before we go any further, I do want to invite up the league president, Courtney Kittle. Apologize for that. So Courtney is going to announce the team as well as the cheerleaders. Then after, we're going to take a nice picture. We'll honor you all this evening, and then you can enjoy the rest of the night.
For the cameras.
All right, we are going to start with the Mighty Might cheerleaders who were there every night for practices. They were there every Saturday or Sunday game for the boys. So give it up for the girls who were there cheering on the boys. So they were coached by Melinda Baker, Jackie Fleming, Mia. Jessica was the cheer coordinator, Amy, and Krista. So give it up for the coaches. And now I'll list the cheerleaders. We have Ava Brefka, Elena Bernecki, Miliana Claudio, Clara Decker, Lucy Decker, Bella Dennis, Michaela Lyon, Kenley Margenton, Aria Watson, and Sophia Waybright. So give it up for the girls. Next, we will list off all the boys who kicked butt. They were 11-0 this season, so great season they had, freezing some of those games, but that's okay. They were coached by Vic Henderson. James Bomer. Vinnie Corsiniti. Mary Douglas. Jeff Lindstruth. Is Jeff here? Okay. Mike Dorenzo was the football coordinator. And Kelly Cannon was the team parent. Your 8U football players are Miles Bomer, Colin Cannon, Cartier Carter, Nathan Castle, Joseph Corsiniti, Bentley Decker, Chase Dorenzo, Mason Douglas, Michael Fortino, Luca Green, Saya Henderson, Donovan Hilt, Maverick Jeremy, Nolan Kozlowski, Ben Lindstruth, Kylan Rowlandson, Armando Salud, sorry, butchered. I told you it would be a name. Wesley Swain, Gunnar Swage, Jackson Wilhite, Aramis Williams, and Aaron Zucher.
Hi. What's up, champs? What's up, champs? Who are we? Who are we?
That's yours. Picture time. Going down? Going down?
Oh, yeah.
Hey, Falcons, what do you guys say to the town?
Les, you want to give this out? Then we have the town of Cicero.
One, two. Good job.
And then on behalf of the town board, Courtney, congratulations. And that's how Cicero gets it done.
No, that's fine.
So there was, nobody wanted to speak, is that what it was?
We just did this in the break. I already did, because John wanted to bring it up.
Did you send, the findings of fact and stuff to these people?
No,
Oh, they're not here.
that's good.
Huh?
I'm not. I would like to thank everyone for their time. What a exciting night for them. Number 5, public hearing authorization to submit an application for the funding Empire State Development Corporation Restore New York Communities Initiative Round 7. Proof of publication was posted and was provided. I would like to, at this time, waive the reading of the legal notices that were posted and advertised.
No objection.
All in favor?
Aye.
I would like at this time to open up the public hearing at 6:43 PM. And the Salt Bay Fire Department, would you want to come up and speak on behalf of this?
Good evening. Kevin Purdy, Chief, South Bay Fire Department. Just a quick overview of what this project would be. It'd be a rebuild of the meeting room, banquet hall of the old station with no work being done to the existing Bay Area of the old station. We've worked with an architect whose estimated the cost would be roughly $2.2 million. We've secured $750,000 through the state assembly and the state senator right now. And this would, the Restore New York grant for 1.45 would bring us up to the 2.2 million that the architect is saying what we need for the project. The long range plan is to turn it into a community center. We'd like to work with the town parks department if we can to allow them to book rooms or events for it. Right now, our meeting room is 91 people, so we can't host anything at our current station. So.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anybody else like to speak on behalf of this project? Okay, we'll close the public hearing at 6:45. Any board comments?
No.
No. Whereas the Restore New York Communities Initiative provides municipalities with financial assistance for revitalization of commercial and residential properties. The program encourages communities to development and neighborhood growth through the elimination and redevelopment of blighted structures. And whereas the town of Cicero is eligible to apply for such funding in round 7, and whereas the town board has determined that such funding should be used to assist the revitalization of the former location of the South Bay Volunteer Fire Department located at 8819 Cicero Center Road. The proposed redevelopment project on this site is consistent with the town goals and plans. The financing proposed for the project is appropriate, and the project facilitates effective and efficient use of existing and future public resources so as to promote both economic development and preservation of the community resources. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the supervisor is hereby authorized to sign and submit the Restore New York Round 7 application for consideration, and be further resolved that the supervisor is hereby authorized to sign all agreements, certifications, and other documents required to complete the application and to accept grants and administer the programs that are proposed for this funding. There is also to be included in this is a $500 application fee. There you go. Thank you. Second discussion?
I did have one question, Chief. If it is rewarded, you don't have to stand up. Do you know the date of when if you were to get it, do you know when the date would be, when we'd know? Okay. Thank you.
All in favor?
Aye.
Vote no or abstain? Passed. No. You're welcome. Thank you. We will submit it tomorrow morning. Oh,
Appreciate it.
set a public hearing to consider local law amendments to chapter 68. Move for the adoption of resolutions to set public hearing on January 11, 2023 at 6:30 PM at 8236 Brewerton Road to consider local law amendments to chapter 68, local law number 1 of 2023.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Vote no or abstain, passed. Number 8. Counselor Carp.
Do we, Mr. Jermaine, before we do number 8, with respect to number 7, do we need to formally move to adjourn that public hearing to that date certain or no? All right, I move to adjourn the continuation of the public hearing regarding the amendments to chapter 210 to the March 8th, 2023 meeting.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Vote no or abstain, passed.
All right, with regard to number 8, I have findings of fact and conclusions to read. The best practice, I'm told, is to read the entire, I think about 6 pages in, so please bear with me. Town of Cicero Board, findings of fact and conclusions. Applicant, Gaberly Development LLC, Metro North PUD project. Type, change of zone from regional commercial to planned unit development. Property 8010 and 8016 Brewerton Road. Tax map numbers 44-03-01.1 and 44-03-12.2. General issue summary. The subject property in consideration consists of 2 tax parcels totaling approximately 49.08 plus or minus acres of land. 8010-13.85A and 8016-35.23A, located generally on the east side of Route 11 behind the automobile dealership and bordered by the Lincoln Avenue neighborhood to the west, the Walmart property to the north, and Widewaters property to the south. The properties are currently zoned regional commercial, or RC. The site has roadway access from US Route 11 and possible access through Lincoln Avenue to a possible signalized intersection. The subject properties abut single-family residential properties on the west side, as well as commercial properties, Echo Park, Walmart, and Widewaters with access to US Route 11. Parcel number 0-3-12.2, 8016 Brewerton Road, consisting of 3535.23 plus or minus acres of land, is currently vacant and unimproved. The applicant is proposing a zone change on this parcel from regional commercial to planned unit development to facilitate construction of a large-scale apartment complex consisting of senior and multifamily housing with 17 buildings and up to 300 overall residential units. The surrounding the surrounding area is mixture of commercial and residential land uses, with commercial sites located generally in proximity to US Route 11 and residential use of single-family homes located off Lincoln Avenue and immediately north of the subject properties. The map submitted with the zone change application was prepared by applicant's engineering firm, CHA. It was dated May 12th, 2022, revised October 4th, 2022, and shows rezoning to allow the entire site to be developed. The submitted environmental assessment form dated January 14th, 2021, and the later supplements note that the two residential components, senior apartments and market rate apartments of the proposed project, will be constructed independent of each other. Development is planned to be completed in 2 phases. A subdivision is needed as part of the development, and the submitted concept plan dated October 4th, 2022 shows the apartment development to include up to 17 buildings with parking areas and garages. Public hearings conducted. The town of Cicero conducted a series of informational and official public hearings, October 12th, 2022 and October 26th, 2022, addressing the application for a zone change and associated issues. Minutes from the public hearings are available from a town clerk or on the town website. Some members of the public, among other concerns considered by the board, expressed the following concerns of note. 1, traffic issues, including but not limited to impact on local roads, stacking and lowering of service levels and intersections, potential traffic impact for Lincoln Avenue. The neighbors also complained about the possible installation of a new traffic signal on Route 11 near Echo Park. 2, the need to construct DOT required mitigation and possible widening of the Route 11 entrance and a potential new traffic signal located too close to others on Route 11, which may create a negative traffic impact for the neighbors. 3, noise and light levels potentially harmful to adjacent residents, potentially above allowed decibel levels of the property lines. 4, fire and rescue issues included limited points of access for large-scale residential projects. Some residents believe the applicant should connect this proposed development with Wegmans and possibly build a ring road for better access and safety. 5, the scope and intensity of the proposed development and proposed residential density do not fit with the neighborhood. The neighborhood around the subject site consists of mostly single-family residences. The proposed density of approximately 300 apartments is too high. 6, increased litter and pollution. 7, decreased property values for single-family homes. The neighbors complained about the requested density and noted that only 228 units could be built under the RM designation rather than 278 requested by the applicant. Town Planning Board. The Town of Cicero Planning Board conducted a review of the proposed project and heard from both the applicant and the public on several occasions. 2, on or about July 20th, 2022, the Planning Board issued a recommendation. The Planning Board is required to provide a recommendation to the Town Board in regard to the application for a planned unit development district by Gabley Development LLC, the applicant, at 8016 Brewerton Road. The Planning Board's review and recommendations are based on the criteria listed in Town Code Section 210-14G as follows. 1, the uses proposed will not be detrimental to present and potential surrounding uses, but will have a beneficial effect which could not be achieved under any other district. 2, land surrounding the proposed development can be planned in coordination with the proposed development and is compatible in use. 3, the proposed change to planning unit development is in conformance with the general intent of the comprehensive master plan. 4, existing and proposed streets are suitable and adequate to carry anticipated traffic within the proposed district and in the vicinity of the proposed district. 5, existing and proposed utility services, including but not limited to water, sanitary sewer, and stormwater, are adequate for the proposed development. 6, each phase of the proposed development, as it is proposed to be completed, must contain the required parking spaces, landscape, and utility areas necessary for creating and sustaining a desirable and stable environment. 7, the proposed planning unit development district and all proposed buildings, parking spaces, landscape, and utility areas can be completely developed within 5 years of the establishment of the district. As such, the Planning Board recommends the Town Board consider approval of the proposed PUD with the following comments, modifications, and conditions. 1, the PUD allows for the proposed 278 units versus 228 units that will be allowed under an RM multifamily district. Studies have been completed on traffic impacts and sewer capacity that show these additional units can be accommodated by the existing infrastructure with appropriate mitigation as discussed herein. However, the Planning Board finds that the layout of the multifamily portion of the project does not create and sustain a desirable and stable environment for the following reasons. The lack of impervious area is excessive, which creates issues with aesthetics, snow removal, and lack of landscaping and green area. In particular, the flats units are considered to create development that is too intense and not consistent with our development in the town of Cicero. The Planning Board recommends the plan be modified to use the area in the northeast corner of the site to reduce the intensity of the development and create additional green and landscape areas and area to provide an adequate number of parking spaces. 2, the project provides for cross access between the adjacent commercial uses and signalized access to New York State Route 11. Correction, that should be US Route 11. For the adjacent residential area. The board recommends the following modifications to the plan and conditions of approval relative to these issues. A, the proposed town road should end at the cross access to Fairview Avenue and the remainder of the access roads on the site be private roads. B, the planning board recommends that the cross access to Fairview Drive should be a two-way access signed as local traffic only to discourage traffic from entering the residential neighborhood, but it is also recommended the town board obtain input from the neighborhood on this issue. C, Location of the cross access to the Walmart site should be moved to align with the access drive east of the Walmart loading area. D, the cross accesses should be constructed with the first phase of development. E, the applicant and town coordinate with Widewaters to have the cross access extend to Marshall's Plaza. 3, the applicant has completed a traffic impact study that has been reviewed by the New York State Department of Transportation. The TIS provides recommendations for improvements to mitigate the impacts of traffic from the project, including a new traffic signal at the entrance into US Route 11. The NYS DOT has agreed with the proposed mitigation with the conditions that the Lincoln Avenue connection be constructed on opening day. The connections to the properties north and south of the site be designed as part of the site plan, and modifications be made to the design of the signalized intersection to address concerns related to existing driveways on the west side of US Route 11. It is recommended that the PUD approval be conditioned on completion of the mitigation per the requirements of the NYS DOT and be completed prior to the opening of phase 1 of the project. 4, in accordance with Town Code Section 210-17G, the planning board recommends a minimum of 2 parking spaces be provided for each multifamily unit with up to 2 bedrooms, and a minimum of 3 parking spaces for each multifamily unit with 3 or more bedrooms. A minimum of 1.5 parking spaces per unit is recommended for the senior apartments portion of the project. The application's parking space count includes spaces within garages that have a surface parking space directly adjacent to the garage. This would require vehicles in the service spaces be moved to enter exit the garage. This does not meet Town Code Section 210-17D sub 1, which requires the parking spaces be directly accessible from an interior driveway. As such, the planning board recommends the spaces directly in front of the garages not be included in the parking count. Should the town board agree with the recommendations here and require significant changes to the plans, it's recommended the town board require further review of the plans by the planning board and provision of a subsequent recommendation by the planning board after review of the modified PUD. Findings. 1, this application for a zone change is properly classified as a type 1 action for the purpose of seeker compliance. Section 617.4 states that any residential project in a city, town, or village having a population of less than 150,250 units to be connected at the commencement of habitation to existing community or public water and sewage systems, including sewage treatment work, qualifies as a type 1 action. The proposed development therefore exceeds a type 1 threshold. 2, the town board named itself lead agency for seeker compliance and conducted a coordinated review after proper notices were sent out. 3, during the process, the town board investigated and scoped potential environmental impacts and decided that in lieu of a submission of a full draft environmental impact statement, the developer needed to submit the following information and reports to supplement the filed and duly considered EAF long form previously filed and supplemented by Clow Harbor, November 4th, 2022. A, traffic study with specific information addressing trip generation and traffic impacts of the project. B, cursory drainage studies. C, sewer use and capacity information. The applicant was told these studies can constitute a baseline request only, and the town board may request further information if necessary. We acknowledge receipt of the GML recommendation report of the Onondaga County Planning Department dated February 17, 2021, OCPB case number Z-21-70, but resolve the project would have no significant adverse intercounty or county-wide implications, but noted there would be negative traffic impacts created by the increased uses. The traffic study submitted by GTS Consulting dated February 2021 shows A, the detailed accident analysis performed for Route 11 between Lincoln Ave and Codnoy Road identified both intersections and the US Route 11 link as high accident locations and above the statewide average rate for similar facilities. We do not believe the negative traffic impact due to increased accidents can be mitigated. B, the trip generation data provided indicates that in addition to pass-by use, total new trips generated will be as high as 34 entering and 81 exiting during the morning peak hours. We are also concerned about the high trip generation numbers for both midday and evening peak hours. We do not believe the impacts on our local residents due to increases in trip generation can be mitigated and that the potential increases are unacceptable. C, the capacity analysis of the proposed build condition indicates that levels of service at several intersections will result in a downgrade in service at those intersections. The report states there will be longer delays and a drop in the level of service of the many intersections during peak hours. We find the drop in anticipated levels of service to the project to be unacceptable. D, we do not believe the traffic study as submitted and considered the potential considered the potential impacts from the very large scale commercial industrial development to be built, the Micron Semiconductor, with proposed access to both Route 31 and US Route 11 north of the proposed site. We find the traffic study deficient in this regard. 4, the evidence produced indicates the proposed project will have negative impact on the residents in proximity to the project area in a far greater capacity than the overall public of the town. The proposed development is too dense for the target area and neighborhood, and the use of the property can be, as proposed, is too intensive. The potential disruptions to the residents living near the project cannot be mitigated, and therefore we find the proposed project impacts to be unacceptable to our residents. 5, we find the proposed project does not allow for enough green space in the overall project. The town of Cicero has been a consistent proponent of preservation of open space. The project as proposed utilizes far too much of the subject property and leaves very little green space for the residents to enjoy. 6, the board considered several factors regarding the use of available space issues for the proposed plan. We find the proposed plan to be far too dense for the size of the subject parcels. The town planning board recommended a maximum build-out density of 228 housing units. However, the applicant refused to alter the request and chose to proceed before seeking approval for up to 278 residential units. The current plan calls for construction of more units than the planning board determined to be appropriate. In addition, there is no indicated area for snow removal and storage in the plan, and a lack of parking areas and spaces for residents and their guests to park. This proposal is contrary to the recommendation of our planning board. We find the applicant's plan to use garage spaces as parking spaces underestimates the parking need for the site. And we also anticipate many residents may choose to use the garages for general additional storage than actual car parking. We further find the density of the plan as proposed to be greater than the threshold recommended by the planning board. These negative factors are not mitigated by the plan before us. 7, it must be noted the town board and planning board requested the applicant tie in the roadway network with the Wegmans parcel to the south. We believe joining the Wegmans parcel would allow for better residential use and fire and hazard safety access. The town of Cicero encourages the use of ring roads and cross connections with projects. We find the subject proposal deficient for not allowing for cross connections to other parcels. We agree with our residents that single point access for such a large use of space would create traffic concerns on Lincoln Avenue and adjoining roadways. 8, the applicant was also asked to consider the inclusion and construction of a potential ring road for additional access to the property. The town board finds an alternative connection via ring road would best serve the residents. 9, the town board also finds that in view of the anticipated construction of the Micron semiconductor fabrication facility, the subject property is better suited and situated to be used for commercial purposes in keeping with its current zoning classification. Conclusion, the town board hereby adopts these findings and finds evidence of definable specific harm and opposition sufficient to deny the requested zone change. That is the conclusion, and that document will be posted in its entirety on the website.
And we will vote on that now.
Ms. Cosselman?
Yeah, we have to vote on that.
Yeah, I know. Roll call, I think.
Yep.
Yes.
Counselor Maurizio.
Yes.
Counselor White.
Yes.
Counselor Bacallo.
Aye.
Supervisor Aragano.
Yes.
I'll now read the seeker. In the matter of Gabriel Development LLC Metro North application for zone change from regional commercial to plan unit development. The Cicero Town Board, pursuant to Article 8 of the New York State Environmental Conservation Law, hereby adopts a resolution declaring the town's action with regard to proposed requested zone change from regional commercial to plan unit development for property located at 8010 and 8016 Brewerton Road, tax map numbers 44-03-01.1 and 44-03-12.2 to accommodate the proposed Metro North Plan Unit Development Project, Gabriel Development LLC by local law to be a type 1 action for the purpose of seeker compliance. The proposed project has a long form environmental review form with supplements, Clow Harbor supplement dated November 4th, 2022, with previously submitted supplemental data such as the traffic study and drainage information, all of which are on file with the town. The town board has also heard and evaluated information for our town engineer and planning department, has viewed the site, all associated documentation, including recommendations of our planning board. The proposed action involves no other permit mandating manning authorities outside the town, state DOT, and Augur County. Be it resolved by the board as follows. 1, based on the foregoing, an examination of the EAF with supplements and the criteria contained in 6 NYCRR section 617.7, the board makes the following determination with respect to the action. A, the action may have a potential significant adverse impact on the environment that cannot be mitigated. B, as a consequence of the foregoing, this board hereby directs that a positive declaration be issued with respect to the action. 2, the town of Cicero board hereby directs this decision be filed with the town clerk. And 3, this resolution shall take effect immediately upon filing with the clerk. I therefore move the adoption of resolution denying the zone change application of Gabriel Development LLC Metro North application for a zone change from regional commercial to planned unit development.
Wait, we got to vote on the seeker first.
Yeah, so split up.
I apologize. All right, so I strike the last part.
That's okay. We'll
right.
clerk call the roll.
Quick question before the roll. So move adoption resolution denying, so it's still a yes.
Yeah, but we got to vote twice, apparently.
Right.
You have to vote
So it's a
twice.
yes of the denying.
Yes to the denial, yes.
Clerk call the roll
Right now, I'm calling it on just
on the
seeker.
seeker.
On the seeker.
Seeker only.
Counselor Cart.
Yes.
Counselor Maurizio.
Yes.
Counselor White.
Yes.
Counselor Bacallo.
Aye.
Supervisor Aragano.
Yes.
All right, I'll do it again. Move the adoption resolution denying the zone change application of Gabriel Development LLC Metro North application for zone change from regional commercial to planned unit development.
Clerk call the roll.
Second, you need a second.
I need a second, please.
Second.
I think.
Second.
Clerk call the roll.
Counselor Cart.
Yes.
Counselor Maurizio.
Yes.
Counselor White.
Yes.
Counselor Bacallo.
Aye.
Supervisor Aragano.
Yes. I want to thank Counselor Carr for reading that.
Wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be, to be honest.
I have to say that like the firmness, like the gusto of it. I just like, oof.
Okay,
I'll be in front of you in court.
we'll move on to number 9, Counselor Marizio.
Move for the adoption of a resolution that the town of Cicero, that the town board of the town of Cicero assume the role of lead agency pursuant to New York State Environmental Quality Review Act in regards to the application known as Bartel South PV1 LLC for the special use permit for property located at Mud Mill Road South Side, tax map number 108.01-20.1 to accommodate a proposed Tier 3 solar energy system. The project includes the construction of a 4.2 megawatt AC voltaic power system.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Those who vote no or abstain, passed.
ML Kakamis Lighting Maintenance. Move the adoption resolution allowing the supervisor to execute the agreement from ML Kakamis Electronic Corporation to maintain the traffic signals listed below. The hourly costs are set forth $159 normal daytime hours, $201.62 overtime and Saturdays, and $244.23 holidays and Sundays, effective 01/01/23 to 12/31/23. Maintenance of flashing beacons, school zones, Brewerton Road Elementary School, Route 11, Brewerton. Gillette Road Middle School, South Bay Road, Cicero. 2 units north and southbound on approach to school. 2, maintenance of traffic signal lights and controllers. Intersection of Circle Drive and Hogan Drive, Cicero. Circle Drive at entrance and Drivers Village, Cicero. Maintenance of flashing light / controller. Railroad tracks approach on Orangeport Road, Brewerton. Lakeshore Road for William Park, Cicero.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Those who vote no or abstain, passed.
Can we go back to number 9 for a second?
Sure.
I just want to clarify, make sure this is clarified. That was approved only for the seeker. That doesn't give them the opportunity to go ahead and start building this.
Correct. We're not voting on, they need a permit and we're not voting on
Yeah,
that.
this is just for seeker. Well, I know that there were some people here that have been going to the planning board meetings.
Oh,
So I
okay.
just wanted to make sure that
This is
everybody was
just
on the
assume
same
the-
page.
The role of lead agency.
Yeah, this is just procedural.
Perfect.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Number 11. There you go. Sorry.
Commercial gaming licensing, James Harvey Spire, 787, American Legion, commercial gaming license. Move for the adoption of a resolution approving the issuance of a commercial gaming license to the James Harvey Spire, 787, American Legion, located at 5575 Legionnaire Drive in Cicero, for the strict and restricted purposes of conducting bingo games with the condition that games be held on behalf of the Syracuse Brigadier Organization only, and that will expire 12/31/2023. Pursuant to section 481 of the General Municipal Law, the New York State Gaming Commission has approved the schedule of maximum rents to be fair and reasonable, effective January 1, 2023.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Those who vote no or abstain, passed.
Move the adoption resolution approving the November 2022 Drivers Village Police Vehicle Repair Bill for $5,140.86. Budget code B312042.
Second.
Discussion?
Are these, do you know if any of the, Mr. Wozniak or Mr. Supervisor, if any of those items were things that might now be handled in the future by the Highway Department?
That, I don't know.
Oh, your lift is for big things bigger than cars, basically?
No, for their SUVs, you can.
Oh, not the sedans.
Well, I think
Okay.
I think what Counselor Carp was asking, if any of these repair bill, the amount here had anything to do with like oil changes or brakes or anything.
Or
like
anything
that.
else you could do.
We don't, I don't know
I
that.
wasn't sure if we'd phased that out yet was my
We're
question.
working
basically.
on that.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Um,
We had a second, so you just got to vote.
Yep. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Vote no or abstain, passed.
Custodial services for Cicero Police Department. Move for the adoption of resolution approving immaculate commercial cleaning / Michael P. Welch, DBA, to provide custodial services at the Cicero Police Department in the amount of $7,200 effective 01/01/23 through 12/31/23. This was the only quote received, budget code B3120.60.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Vote no or abstain, passed.
SPCA Dog Control Contract. Move for the adoption of a resolution approving a contract between the town of Cicero and the CNY Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals, SPCA, for a period of January 1st, 2023 to December 31st, 2025. The contract is for general dog control services and calls for fees and compensation in the amounts of $20,000 for 2023, $21,000 for 2024, and $22,000 for 2025. A copy of the proposed contract has been supplied to the board and will be published on the town website. This resolution also authorizes the supervisor to execute the contract.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Vote no or abstain, passed.
SPCA Cruelty Contract. Move for the adoption of a resolution approving a contract with the Central New York Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals, CNY SPCA, to enforce provisions of Article 26 of the Agriculture and Markets Law of the State of New York, which are reported to it by the town of Cicero, effective January 1st, 2023 to December 31st, 2023, in the amount of $5,238.54. Budget code A35104.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Vote no or abstain, passed.
Did you have special language for this next one? I know Tracy.
Yes, you just have to add
Just add
special
special
town
town,
board
okay.
meeting.
Perfect. Special Town Board Meeting 2023 organizational meeting. So move the adoption resolution setting the special town board meeting for the 2023 organizational meeting on Tuesday, January 3rd, 2023 at 6:30 PM at 8236 Brewerton Road, Cicero, New York.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Vote no or abstain, passed.
Move for the adoption of a resolution approving an additional year-round full-time parks laborer position to our county roster. The Parks Department plans to hire a new parks laborer in 2023, and there is a need for the county to assign the town another roster position to prepare for this.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Vote no or abstain, passed.
Move for the adoption of a resolution approving the Cicero Town Clerk to submit a request in the Post Standard for sealed bids to clean the Cicero Town Hall located at 8236 Brewerton Road. Deadline Tuesday, December 27th, 2022 at 10 a.m.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Vote no or abstain, passed.
Hire staff of highway wingers. Move for the adoption of a resolution to hire a staff of seasonal part-time wingers for the highway department at an hourly rate of $18. Budget code DB 514212. Personnel list included in attachments.
Second.
Discussion? On this one, I will say that if, Chris, the people who are on the wingers list, they still have personal information they have to give our HR department. And okay, just want to let you know.
Do we know how many that is? Okay.
There are a few, but six, there's six of them. Okay. Seven? Okay.
Several.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. They wish to vote no or abstain, passed. Creating maps and legal descriptions. Move for the adoption resolution approving $1,500 Iannuzzi and Romans to land surveyor PC for creating maps and legal descriptions for an easement at Triple H Stables located at 5840 South Bay Road.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Vote no or abstain, passed. We will, at this time, be going into executive session. We will reconvene after. So move for the adoption resolution to enter an executive session related to public employee collective bargaining negotiations.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
At this time, I'd like to have our town attorney and our HR, Amy O'Mara, enter an executive session.
There you go. I'm just gonna read this. Robert? Hold on a second, I just need to ask. Robert?
Thank you for waiting. We went into executive session at 7:14. We exited at 7:55 and Counselor White seconded. And we're back in service.
We got a few resolutions. We'll be voting on a few agreements. I move the adoption of resolution approving a stipulation of settlement resolving a labor grievance between the town of Cicero and the CSCA local 1000. In this resolution also authorizes a payment in the amount not to exceed $1,250 to resolve all outstanding claims and authorizes the supervisor to execute the stipulation of settlement.
Second.
Discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Vote no or abstain, passed.
I move the adoption of resolution approving a memorandum of agreement between the town of Cicero and the town of Cicero Police Benevolent Association regarding the conduct, the regulations, and payment for off-duty details for police officers. This resolution also authorizes the supervisor to execute the agreement.
Second.
Discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Vote no or abstain, passed.
And I move the adoption resolution approving a labor agreement between the town of Cicero and Teamsters Local Union 317. This resolution also authorizes the supervisor to execute the agreement.
Second.
Discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Wish to vote no or abstain, passed. Will anybody wish to have any public input tonight? Come on up. If you could, just state your name and your address, please. Does your mic work?
Just push the button.
Hi, I'm Rose Sinopoli, 6471 East Taft Road, East Syracuse, New York, 1057. Good evening, happy holidays.
Thank you.
Same to you.
Probably know why I'm here. I know most of you. Mostly what I'm interested in is, I've been fairly quiet, stopping in to see Mike every once in a while. And I wanted to know more about what was happening with Hiller Heights and the flooding. This year we had helped, I hope, get the $100,000 in there so there could be some engineering studies to look a little bit further into why, they were having such a flooding issue. And so I'm interested in knowing, has the money been used, and also where are we in this process?
I'll comment on that.
Okay.
We are working diligently. I don't want to make any comments at this time, but they're positive. And I will be reaching out to you hopefully very soon.
Okay. Did the money get used? I didn't know.
But
if-
we still have the money there.
You still have the
the
money.
money's still
So
there,
will
correct.
that money
The
go
money,
into the new year?
correct.
It will. Okay.
Yes.
So things are hopeful,
Very,
and we should hear something soon.
I hope.
Very soon, yes.
Very soon.
Okay. I will hang in there.
Hang in there.
Yeah.
We
I
we
mean,
don't
Yeah,
think,
we've
we
been-
don't
we've
think
been-
you'll be disappointed.
We've been working
Yeah.
very hard.
I know you've been working, and we've heard from John that it's somewhat confidential. You can't tell us the
Right.
details and all that, but they really, 16 years, we've got to do something there, right?
Soon,
Okay,
soon.
yeah. Okay,
Yes.
thank you.
And Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to you all as well. Thank you.
Anyone else?
How you doing?
All right.
Party. 5980 Schneller Road, and I'd like to talk about the solar panel project on Bud Mill Road. I've talked about it before. in your terms on your zoning, you have in there a loose term, an overburden on neighborhoods. There's no real clear definition for that, obviously. I'd like to somewhat know what the clear definition of an overburden on a neighborhood is.
That's a decision the town board would have to
Right, right,
make the evaluation of the.
which is right. As in all contracts, and everything, you use those loose terms so you can make decisions, as we all know. Yes, I know that. Yeah, I'm aware of that. I deal with the contracts and all that stuff on other aspects and how that works, right? But I just wanted to bring it up, the overburden of a neighborhood. As we all know, we've put one on Mud Mill Road already. And now we're putting one, or on Sneller or McKinley Road. Now we're putting another one over on Mud Mill. It's less than 3,500 feet from the start of one to the edge of the property of the other one. Sneller Road is also on a well. There's no water running down Sneller Road. There's one house that does have water on it over off of Mud Mill. So 3 of the wells are dug wells. They're shallow wells. They're on a water vein. It was discussed the last meeting. It was brought up that the lay of the land is the way the water flows. As we all know, we can't tell what happens underground. Mother Nature does things that we could never understand. The water could flow the other way. We don't know where it goes. My concern is with the materials used, the galvanizing and sort, being driven down in the ground, potentially hitting that shallow vein of water, or therefore blocking it, disrupting it, could affect our wells. And that's something that would be a major problem. They just took and spent 3 weeks on a well across the street from my house, putting a new one in, with an actual drilled well, and they had a hard time hitting it. So if we lose that shallow water vein, there's 3 wells that we could potentially lose. And now what do we do? Because I'm not paying for a new well because someone disrupted it. So that's where I'm at with that. I'd like you to take that into consideration because I consider it an overburden in the neighborhood.
Great.
Thank you.
Thanks.
for your comments.
Anyone else? No one else? Anybody else? Oh, I'm sorry.
Maybe.
Okay, how's that? No, I turned it off. Now, okay.
You got
Thanks.
it. Your name and your address?
My name's Mike DeVero. I'm at 6032 Sneller Road.
I think I spoke to you, right?
I did.
Okay.
Yeah, we did. Thanks. 2 things I just want to talk about. First, I guess I'll follow up on the proposed solar farm. I'd like to circulate just a couple pictures of the McKinley Road
Sure, bring them up.
solar farm. This is McKinley. And this is from the rear.
And if I'm not mistaken, the one from the rear is facing your home.
No,
No,
I
not-
just drive by it every day
Oh, okay.
and wish it wasn't there,
Okay.
but that's all. So the issue that I see is that McKinley Road, that solar farm project was built without proper planning. It doesn't adhere to the current regulations. So from my standpoint, I just want to make sure that you consider that. I'm not, obviously can't rewrite history, can't go back and change it. But we can do the right thing going forward. So the solar project on Mud Mill Road should adhere to the regulations. Section 208-10 dot F2, solar energy systems larger than 10 acres. This is right from the regulations. Submit a screening and landscaping plan to show adequate measures to screen through landscaping, grading, or other means so that views of solar panels and solar energy equipment will be minimized as reasonably practical from public roadways. So the Mud Mill Farm has already been before the town planning board. You've voted to take on the seeker role. I would highly encourage you to consider their comments, which were the result of several planning board meetings, and make sure that this project is properly screened, and that it doesn't provide a negative visual impact on the community.
Like this one does.
Exactly. I have one other
Go ahead.
comment I'd like to make. This is something that's not on the agenda. It's regarding the Micron project. And I'm here to encourage the board and the planning board, and I will go there as well, to take care and be prudent with future development activities that result from this project. It's easy to get wrapped up in the hype. However, if the development's not properly planned, we could be, excuse my language, but the armpit of clay and Onondaga County. We've got a lot of challenges already in this town, and we would want to be very careful not to add to those challenges. There are infrastructure challenges and population challenges. So this project could help us reverse that and help us improve our community. And I really encourage the board to have that mindset going forward. And future development should be approved if it's going to benefit our community, not to add to the problems. So that's my 2 cents on that. Thank you for listening.
I'll comment on that for you. Counselor Marizio and our engineer, they are now working on an RFP for a comprehensive plan, which we're moving forward with. The board is in full support of it. With the county's help, we're able to do this, and I'm happy to say.
So I've been working with Kate and Ryan McMahon's office and the Onondaga County Planning Office. We have it down to two firms that we're going to be interviewing in the coming weeks. And we expect to get this thing in full swing by the end of January. The master plan, comprehensive plan that we're going to be putting together will also come with it updates to our codes and our aesthetic plans for what the planning board is to follow for any type of new construction, to go along with what you're saying.
And there will be public input.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you. Yeah, my concern is the conflict with the county in that it's clear they want this project to happen, and it's clear that there are going to be issues that have to be overcome in the form of housing, especially, and industrial property. And there will be many requests for zoning changes. I mean, it's going to happen. And if from my standpoint, we can't allow the county to dictate what we would do for our community. And if an apartment complex isn't right, we shouldn't approve it just because it's going to help add housing for workers. You know, these are very general comments, and I don't want to get into a cross debate. I apologize for that, but just want to kind of give you a sense of where I'm coming from.
And they've been very clear. We had a meeting with them that they don't want to tell us what to do. They're
Okay,
just encouraging everyone to make sure that you are going to get what you want to get, that you want the best looking, you don't want the bottom of the barrel, you want the top, the cream of the crop coming in. So they've been very, very encouraging about that.
But we are working with them, but
Okay.
they're helping us so that way we can get what we want.
okay,
Not taking direction from them, in other words.
right. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else? I would like to say on behalf of the Cicero Town Board, we want to wish everyone in our community a happy and safe holiday season. And thank you.
Absolutely. Well said. Move to adjourn.
All in favor?
Aye.